This episode of RAW-tism is about something schools argue about constantly, often without realizing that's what they're actually arguing about: comfort. This episode is for teachers, parents, administrators, and anyone who has ever thought that a kid was too old for their comfort items. Regulation comes before learning. Before a child can follow directions, sit still, focus, communicate, and learn, their nervous system has to feel safe. Not compliant, not quiet, safe. If a child is dysregulated, their brain is in survival mode, and survival brains don't do math. In schools, comfort items are often treated like a privilege, a distraction, or something that has to be earned. But the truth is, a comfort item is often functioning like glasses for the nervous system. For example, a plushie absorbs stress through pressure. A hoodie blocks sensory input, or a small object provides predictability in a chaotic environment. Taking that away doesn't teach coping, it removes the coping tool. We don't tell kids with classes, you're too dependent on those, learn how to see on your own. You don't want me driving without my glasses. You don't want that. You want me to be able to drive, and this is something I need to do that. These objects are things that neurodivergent children need to school. A comfort person might be a specific teacher, an aide, a counselor, or one adult who understands the child's communication style. Okay, I can do this. This person is not being used. They are acting as a regulation anchor. For autistic and neurodivergent kids, predictability in relationships reduces anxiety. Meltdowns, shutdowns, aggression, and school refusal. Removing that person abruptly can cause the same stress as moving a comfort item, sometimes worse. Like a whole month of crying. Not that I have any experience with that at all. Let me say this clearly. Attachment is not a behavior problem. Attachment is not a behavior problem. If you're wondering how I have the authority to say this, I am literally a behavior therapist. So shush. Strong attachment means that trust has been built. Safety has been established and co-regulation is working. The goal is not to eliminate attachment. It is to expand regulation outward over time. This means gradual transitions, shared regulation, and teaching flexibility without removing safety. The first time I go to someplace, I need someone I trust to come with me. And then eventually I can go to places on my own or with a different person than the first person. It just depends how it works, where my comfort level is. And it's not my husband doing all the work with being my regulation. I have other people in my life, and I have self-regulating comfort items like my stuffies and fidgets and all that stuff. So it's not supposed to be just one person being your comfort person. Sometimes it does end up that way, but hopefully that's not the case, because if the one person you trust abandoned you, that's great. Okay, how school feels without comfort items. Imagine being dropped into a building where everything is loud, but you're the only one without ear protection. The lights buzz, the floors echo, and every chair scrapes, hits like it's happening inside your skull. You don't get to choose where to sit. You don't get to leave when it's too much. And the one thing that helps your body feel steady, the small, quiet anchor you brought from home, taken away at the door. Now imagine being demanded to focus in that environment. Are you kidding me? Without a comfort item, school feels like holding your breath all day and being graded on how calm you look, wearing clothes made out of sandpaper while pretending to be comfortable, or standing in a room where the rules keep changing and no one explains why. Your brain isn't thinking about math. It's scanning for danger. Danger, Robinson! In this case, a comfort item isn't a toy. It's a bridge. It connects home to school, safety to uncertainty, and regulation to learning. When it's home, the bridge collapses. Without that anchor, every small thing becomes a big thing. A pencil breaking becomes a failure. A teacher's raised voice feels like a threat. A fire drill can feel like the world ending. And those happen again and again and again. When When the meltdown comes, adults claim overreaction or overdramatic, but what's actually happening is a nervous system running out of options. Without comfort, school feels like being asked to swim without knowing how, while everyone yells instructions, being punished for drowning, then being told you'll learn independence once you stop sinking. Yeah, no, I am not exaggerating this example. As someone who grew up with undiagnosed disabilities, who needed help and didn't receive it, that's what it feels like. That's why I'm fighting for this to not happen to others. You're not refusing to cope. You're out of coping tools. You can't cut something without something to cut it with. Like, your hand's not gonna work. You start to believe that you are the problem, so you mask, you comply, you survive. And survival looks like success until it doesn't. Comfort items don't prevent growth. They make growth possible. Without them, school doesn't feel like a place to learn. It feels like a place to endure. Learning shouldn't be torture. If you could go to my old grade school and find out how many days of school I missed in 6th and 7th grade because I had such bad anxiety that I called in sick. Didn't do it in 8th grade because my mom challenged me to get perfect attendance, and of course that was great for my mental health. But there's a reason why I didn't feel like I could be at school. It's just a lot. Okay, next week on RAW-tism, we dive deep into why ABA therapy is necessary in home and at school, aka why I have a job.